giving the first green flag of the night in memory of these great individuals that'll be in our hearts forever.
And it is Michael Bennett to get the jump as they go into turn number one. It's Mike. Here comes Fearn to retaliate, but it doesn't matter because the yellow comes out.
Little bit too rambunctious. We'll see what's going to happen.
Well, a great tribute, Ben, to four of our friends who passed away. Of course, Cliff Nelson helped a lot of guys. Jack Hill, I would have to say, is one of the nicest men I have ever met.
Absolutely.
The head of security here at Stafford for many years. And he was a smiling face that you would see every time you went to Stafford.
Sure, the same can be said about Debbie Yurko, and along with Joe Trudeau, who was involved, worked for the Department of Motor Vehicle when they ran the racing action. And this time, well, it looked like Fearn got a big giddy up at the start, and apparently it paid off because we're still going to stay under green. Look at the battle for second. Cliff Saunders. On the outside is Michael Bennett and Gamba Corda, that car that glows and goes, as Fearn definitely takes advantage of things at the point, and he is literally pulling away.
And the last thing this field wanted to see was Tom Fearn leading by the length of a school bus on the opening lap. Here is Cliff Saunders, new car for him. He is getting the max out of it for a while, and then Bennett reestablishes himself in second place.
Keep your eyes on Gamba Corda. He's also rumbling to the front of the field. Fearn is still the leader of the pack. Fastest lap turned in the competition is Tom Fearn as he sets up front in the running here so far. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, Cliff Saunders, he seems to be coming off the turns a little bit quicker in that number 14 car. Look a little further back. Wray is right there on the back bumper of the Gamba Corda machine. And further back in the field, we've got Leary, who's making his presence known as he works his way to the inside.
And he is able to ram his way underneath Dave Wray. So one of the Wray brothers in action today, but he loses a spot to Tyler Leary. Up at the front, leading a charmed life, is Tom Fearn. He's in front by about the length of the George Washington Bridge over Michael Bennett.
His last time by was a 21.921. So he's looking racy. Look at Gamba Corda. Not only does the car glow, it seems to go as he now moves into the third spot, Matt. As he's bringing with him Wray, who's running right behind him in the line of fire. Now, we've watched Gamba Corda and Wray week after week in 2018 put on a show. Meanwhile, out in front and gone is Tommy Fearn with 5 laps up on the board in this 30-lap event. Things are starting to settle in further back in the field. At the bottom of the top 10, Darrell Keene with that number 79 car is also all over the teammate Wray car number 45. Here comes Gamba Corda. He moves down underneath Bennett in a bid for the runner-up spot. The Aubuchon hardware machine on the outside. Gamba Corda finds an opening, moves to the front of the class, takes over the second spot, and here comes Wray. Wray leans on Bennett, and right there with him, here comes Saunders with that number 14 machine, and Leary has broken away from the field as well.
And Bennett had a little trouble on the outside. Is that car a little grunting as it was on the outside and now trying to move underneath? It's Cliff Saunders. We'll see if he can complete that move. Great job by Gamba Corda. And now in trouble as that's a 14 of Saunders, and he is going to drift into the barrier.
Well, the caution flag comes out, and that's going to tighten things up.
Bennett in the number 4 position. Fearn against Gamba Corda on the restart.
Here they come, and again, Fearn, he is magical when the green flag drops. He runs quickly to the front of the class. Meanwhile, here comes Wray into second, and you called it, Matt. Leary has moved into the top 4. And what about...
Around goes Keene. Keene in trouble, hitting the wall.
So the second caution comes out.
The driver that's known as Delicious to his teammates just got a bite of the wall.
Certainly did. Came back around and slapped the wall. That's a former Botticello race car. And that is going to tighten it all back up again. Paul LaRue, and keep your eyes on that third row as well, because it's not over with yet. 8 of 30 now complete. Here they come, and Fearn has done it again. Nice tight line to the bottom, Matt, and that gives Wray the opportunity. And here comes Leary to battle with the Aubuchon car. As they head down into the turn, we've got a side-by-side battle for positions number 4 and 5.
And Leary comes off the turn like a jackrabbit and moves into 4th. Also contending in the upper tier of the field is Chase Cook in car number 99. Right behind him is Paul Aroot, but now there's plenty of breathing room at the front of the field for Fearn. 3 wide, turn 3.
It is Serdell who gets on the outside. Meanwhile, Fearn is on the bottom, and Saunders became the meat in the sandwich there. Back up front to the front of the field. Leader is still Fearn. Here comes Gambacorta. He's all over Wray, and Leary still setting in the comfort zone in position number 4.
Well, Ben, it took Ryan Fearn 10 laps in his late model career to pull off a move a lot of veterans would be reluctant to try, a 3-wide maneuver, and he made it sick. Best battle, 2nd and 3rd. Here comes Gambacorta.
Wray slipped up the racetrack, and that one slip forces him to lose the 2nd spot. Once Gambacorta went by, he pulled away by 2 car lengths over the 3rd position. Meanwhile, Leary still in the 4th spot, and he is starting to close up that gap ever so slightly on the Wray machine that is in the final podium position. A little further back in the field, Cook is still there. He's following Bennett, and then it is Paul Aroot, and the 77 also is there for Eddie Ricard. Ricard has not been with us for a lot of races, but this year hopes to be a regular again.
He was shaking his head after practice today. He said the car wasn't doing what he wanted it to do, but he looks a lot stronger in the feature. However, the torpedo underneath him, that was Ryan Fearn. He backs off, but Ryan Fearn is definitely a factor to try to take a spot away from Ed Ricard.
14 laps are now complete. They're 1 lap shy of the halfway marker in this event. It is still Tom Fearn showing the defending champion is still at the top of the pile. And
look at Ryan Fearn now. Well, it looked like he was going to do something, Ben, coming off of turn number 2, but decided to wait.
And right there with him is Serdell, and it appears that those 2 cars have been pretty much staying with each other, and if one makes the move, the other tries to follow. And that's what we're looking at. Quickest car in the racetrack, Tom Fearn, 21.921. Kevin Gambacorta currently in 2nd, and he is starting to show his times are starting to slow just a tiny bit, Matt, but it appears that Leary's times are starting to pick up just a bit. And Michael Bennett still hanging around. Oh, trouble now. The Fearn car goes up in smoke like a Cheech and Chong movie. And down into turn number 3.
So he will limp off the track, and the yellow comes out on lap number 16. Restarts. Let's see if that trend continues.
Here's the money shot restart in this one. And yes, it does, but it is not as potent as the previous ones, but good enough to take the lead and pull away. Side-by-side racing for 2nd. Here comes Wray up to the runner-up spot. Now, all of a sudden, Gambacorta pulls back in the line. Here comes Leary. Meanwhile,
around goes Gambacorta, turn 4.
A scramble there.
Somebody got trapped behind him.
And we've got 2 or 3 cars on the top side of the racetrack over in turn number 4. And I think the heartbreaker of that is the Gambacorta machine, and it looks like the number 99 was involved.
He got pinched in behind Gambacorta.
And he is the king of full-bodied racing, you'd have to say, because all of that occurred in full-bodied racing. A good restart again, and Fearn continues to rumble, comes off the turn, deja vu, as Wray moves back into 2nd. Now the battle on the racetrack is going to be a battle for the 4th spot, because Paul Aroot has found some magic on the inside lane of the Aubuchon hardware machine of Michael Bennett. Trouble now, down the front straightaway. We've got him sliding. Oh, hitting at a ton.
That was Ricard. And Albert Saunders went through the grass, and so did Verrecchio. Verrecchio couldn't make it out, however, as things got ugly coming out of the front straightaway.
Well, we've seen the Ricard machine literally hit what we refer to as the safer barrier down in turn number 1. There's only been one leader so far. It has been car number 92 for Tom Fearn.
Fearn has been ferocious
Here
on these
we
double
go.
file restarts.
This time, it was deja vu again, but however, it wasn't as close as the previous time. And now, by the time that Fearn comes off the second turn, he has moved out in front by a landslide. But look at the battle between Leary and Wray. And here comes Paul Arute and Gamba Corda, who didn't want to be left out of the big dance and a podium finish. He is starting to rise like the cream to the top of the bottle.
Boy, it's hard to believe that Gamba Corda was under distress a couple of laps ago. He goes downstairs against Paul Arute, but not enough elbow room. He's going to try it again as they enter turn number 4, and Paul Arute holds him off again.
The Supreme Industries machine looking supreme. There's Gamba Corda. He saw a shot at the inside. Paul Arute went a little too high, and that cost him. But I would not count out Paul Arute yet. Down the back straightaway, the other Wray machine is slip-sliding away underneath the Family Ford of Enfield billboard. And is it going to remain there, or will it fire back up?
Well, he's trying to fire it back up, but right now he's fighting a losing battle.
And there's the
yellow comes out.
For Bennett as they rumble off the turn. Here they come. And Fearn, I think he had a little bit of extra that time, but look at Wray. Wray keeps digging in on the outside, and here comes Gamba Corda. Gamba Corda, down the back straightaway. Wray was out of shape. And Gamba Corda and Wray come together like two cymbals in an orchestra.
And Fearn is jackhammered on the back. He was hammered by Larry, and Gamba Corda comes out of nowhere to take the lead. He comes from the shadows into the spotlight.
There's no question about it. Gamba Corda comes from the back of the pack. Fearn's car suddenly gets evil. It develops more than a caffeine twitch. It is literally like a snake on the racetrack, perhaps a tire going down.
That car is dizzy.
Wray now moving into second, but what about Gamba Corda? If there was a move of the event, it has to be Gamba Corda. He was involved in a jingle among the top 3. Never touched the wall, came from last, 22 laps up on the board map in this 30-lap event, and Wray is reeling him in. Let's look at timing and scoring. Gamba Corda's last lap, a 3:99, and Wray's was a 6:37. Simply put, Gamba Corda is the quicker of the two.
And he is leading Wray by a half a second. Leary trapped behind Fearn. Fearn, once again, he looks like a balloon with the air coming out of it. Surdell makes a bold move underneath Leary. That is a fight for the top 5, and Surdell is halfway there.
There's no question about it. He continues to apply the pressure. Leary is still there. Fearn has something wrong with his race car, and he is just trying to ride this out. You got to give him credit. Here comes Leary to challenge down low. Back to the front of the class. Gamba Corda's car seems to be slowing just a bit as Wray seems to be, picking up the pace just a bit. Michael Bennett is there looking for a return podium finish. Then you look a little further back. You've got Fearn hunted down by Leary, and then we haven't even talked about R.J. Surdell. Matt, he's been doing a good job.
The top rookie in the race so far, trying to get a spot away from Tyler Leary at the front of the field. Whiplashing his way into turn 1 is Gamba Corda. Michael Wray was challenging just a moment ago, but Gamba Corda has pulled away, and now he leads by a couple of billy clubs over that number 42 car.
The first, second, and third place cars, about the same amount of distance, separates 1, 2, and 3. But that is not the story for fourth on back. Fearn is doing his best to hold off Leary. Leary is trying everything to sneak on by. Here, all of a sudden, here comes Surdell, and here comes Saunders. Car number 40, Matt. Saunders makes the move to the inside.
As Saunders
sticks are up.
He is able to ambush Surdell, and Saunders moves into 6th place. Down to the final pair of laps. Gamba Corda, remember last year on opening weekend, He did not finish the race, had to clip the car. Right now he is going for a victory as he's able to blister his way into turn 3. Michael Wray, you can't count him out as they jackhammer their way out of turn number 4. One more time around for Kevin Gambacorta.
This could be the run of his career as he is blistering the pace out front. Meanwhile, Leary still battles with Fearn. Gambacorta came from the back of the pack with an early skirmish to move to the front of the field. The car that goes and glows will go into the record books as the first feature event winner in 2019. Kevin Gambacorta has done it, finishing second. Michael Wray. Michael Bennett, the Aubuchon car, will finish in third. Tommy Fearn, a mechanical woe, rode it out to finish in the 4th spot, and Tyler Leary will finish in 5.